So I'm making this video for those people that are considering a Garmin InReach Mini or have one and want to get started with it. So there's a couple of things I wish I knew when I first bought this. The first thing I want to talk about is tracking. One of the reasons I bought this is I wanted to be able to share my location with my wife while I'm out on hikes. The first time I tried doing that, it sent her a link, and when she tried to open it, it said that I had not given her permissions to do so. What I'd later learned is you have to go to the Garmin website, and there's a couple of things that you have to check off. You have to change your sharing permissions, and there's some other things in there that you have to tweak as well. What I'd highly recommend you do before you take this out on a serious hike, if you want to share your location and you want to text people, is I would practice it with yourself. What you can do is you can send a text message to your personal phone number with your location to make sure that you can open it. You probably will be able to. But then, send it to someone who's near you and say, hey, can you find my location, and see if it works. Tracking and sharing your location with a text, they both send a text to the person you're sending it to with a link, but they are in separate portions of the app. Okay, so I am in the Garmin EarthMate app, and what I'm going to show is how to send a text message. And with this text message, we're going to share our location at that point in time. So on the top right, there's the paper with a pencil icon. We're going to hit that to compose a new message. In the to field, I'm going to hit in there, and I'm going to select the person with the plus sign on the right, and I'll select myself. All right, so I can type a message, and then to the left of that message is a pin with a hole in it. I need to check that pin, and that will send my current location. So I'm going to send this off. I'm going to go back here. Okay, so that sound was the text message getting uplinked from your device. And here I have a text message on my personal phone, so I'm going to click that. So if you send this message from your satellite device to someone else, that person is going to see something that looks like this. So I'm going to click on this link, and it's going to bring us to a map that shows this is my current location. This is a static point. This is just a snapshot in time. So when I move away from this point, this is not going to change. But what if I want someone to be able to track me as I am hiking? Well, first, let's go to the Garmin app. We're going to go to the bottom right. It says More. So we're going to click this. That'll bring you to menu options here. So we're going to click Options, and it says Tracking, so let's select Tracking. And there's Send Interval, so let's click that. I'm going to choose 2 minutes. So as I'm hiking, it's going to send an update every 2 minutes for my location. Now let's look at the bottom of the screen again where it says Tracking. I'm going to select Tracking. So what I do is I'm going to, on the top right, I'm going to select the export icon on the top right. So let's select that and hit share. It'll bring me to what looks like a new text message. I'm going to send this to my personal phone, my cell phone, so you can see what it looks like. And I'm going to select myself here again. There we go. Now, here, I'm not sending a static message. This will actually allow them to follow me. So I'll say something like, follow my hike. And this way they can track my hike. Now on the left, I don't need to select that little pin anymore. That pin just sends a static location. I don't have to put anything else in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit send. And this is going to send it off to my cell phone now. Okay, so you can hear that my device has now sent it, and I got the text message here. So let's go to my text message. Compare this message to my first one. The first message I sent was just a snapshot of my current location, and that's what the text message looks like. This new one, I'm allowing the person I'm sending the text message to track my location. The link looks very similar, but let's click on it. It's going to bring me to the same map here. But now, when they zoom into my location, they can track my hike. And so they'll get dots like this. And as you move along, every 2 minutes, it's going to update my location and it will put another dot on the map. And so that is how you can share your maps. With weather reports, I really like to get wind information because out here, there is a lot of wind. I wanted to get wind forecasts to see if the wind was going to get stronger over time. With the basic and premium weather reports, they give you wind information at that time, at the time you request it. It does not give you a wind forecast. The difference between basic and premium does not really contain any more information in your snapshot of time than the basic report does, but premium gives you a forecast that goes out for a whole week. The battery life on this device is pretty phenomenal. I used this yesterday for a 5.5 mile walk. I'm on mile 5 of this hike, Pacific Crest Trail. And on both those hikes, I've been texting pretty regularly and I've been sharing my location. The battery is at 80%. If you do overnight hiking, that's when you might want to conserve energy. But if you do like day hikes, even long ones where you're like hiking 10 or 12 hours the full day, this is definitely going to last if it's fully charged. I would say the best way to get started with this device is they have the flexible plans that you can buy. Start by getting 1 month of an unlimited plan, and that will allow you to just really play around with this and send as many texts as you want. That's what I'm doing now, and I'm really thankful that I did that because there's a lot I didn't know about this device and how it works. It is not as intuitive as something like the Somewear tracking device, but this will allow you to do a little bit more than you'll be able to do with the Somewear device. As far as maps go, this only does waypoints every 2 minutes, I believe. And even with the trails on the maps, they're not high fidelity trails. So if you're using this for trail navigation, you may think you're walking off the trail, but really it could be that between 2 points on your Garmin, there was a little bend. And you will eventually get to that point, but you have to follow the bend. But as you're going on that bend, it's going to look like you're not on the trail. So I use an app called AllTrails, and I have a subscription for that. That one, you download the map on your phone in advance of your hike, and that has a very high fidelity way of letting you know if you're on the trail or not. And if you have the subscription, it'll even let you know if you're off your trail. So maps, it's good to have as a backup, but I would not use it as my primary means of navigation. As far as using the website to make routes and tracks, it is not user-friendly at all. It is not intuitive. I would have to take a class probably, or I'd have to see a video to preset waypoints to use for navigation. I went in, I spent a lot of time on it, and I threw my hands up in the air. I have no idea how it works. So I'm just gonna stick with using my apps for navigation. They've always done very well, but the whole process with Garmin could really use a refresh. Sharing this on Facebook is a little bit clunky. I have not figured out how to post this to your profile. The only way I know to share your location or post updates onto Facebook is if you create a page, a Facebook page. So I created one saying track Alexander's hikes. And I wish it was better, because every time you send a message or want to share your location, it creates a new post on that page. So ideally, I'd like to just create a post on my profile that people could log into and follow. There is a way to do that, but you have to set it up in advance. When you send locations, there's different links as well, but I found that one of the best links for sharing your location that's pretty universal is share.garmin.com / and then you can choose an extension name, or you can name it what you want. And I can send that link out to pretty much anyone. And as long as I check a box in the Garmin website, which I'll show later, anyone can open it. But you have to check that box, or people you send it to are not going to be able to open it. But if you want to share a hike on Facebook and you want to allow people to track you, I would use that hyperlink. That hyperlink seems to work very well, and once you adjust your permissions, pretty much everyone can use it. And when you post something on your Facebook page, it includes a hyperlink to us0.explorer.garmin.com, and I believe it includes a static post from where you sent your location. So that post I don't believe will update. So that's where I'd use the hyperlink share.garmin.com / whatever you name it. That one's much more universal, and that one updates with your hike. Oh, lastly, I wanted to talk about texting with rescue crew. So it says that you can text back and forth with the rescue team, search and rescue team, but how does that actually work? So when you hit your SOS button, this is going to broadcast out to the Iridium satellite network. You will get an acknowledgement. You'll get a text saying that your SOS has been received. But when you get that text, you can reply back to that text. And replying back to that text will allow you to talk with the rescue crew. And that's really big. Just being able to communicate when you have an emergency out in the middle of nowhere, it really can be a life or death difference. But yeah, so when you get the text message saying that your SOS has been received, you can reply to that link. And you can send text messages to multiple people at once, but when they reply back, it will come back to you individually. But if you want to broadcast a mass text message to a group of people, you can do that. You can also send emojis as well, and you can receive emojis, which I thought is pretty cool, at least on an iPhone. I am just really glad to have upgraded to this device. This gives me so much peace of mind when I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I always want to be as prepared as I can. So before I had my personal locator beacon, but that can only send a one-way signal saying, hey, something's wrong. But with this, you can have a lengthy conversation with rescue crews, and that can really make a difference. I also think this is just a great big peace of mind for my family as well, because I can now contact them anywhere in the world. I can let them know if I'm going to be late. Whereas before, if I was late, I'd tell them, if you don't hear back from me by this time, call the police. Stuff like that. It just makes it so much better and so much safer for your hikes. Communication is just so important. And while hiking is awesome because you can get away from it all, sometimes you still need to communicate, and this makes it possible. Well, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching my channel.